Today is April 21st. Welcome to Nonsense Sports. On today's podcast, we have on schedule segment numero uno with Ryan, aka RyanTalksNSS, on Twitter, serving as our official first guest of the show. Ryan is also our co-host, but today he's a guest. He'll be acting as a guest today, so to preview the Eagles 2020 season. He's going to tell us a bit about the draft strategy, some expectations for the season. On segment numero dos, Ryan will put aside his Eagles hype, and we're going to talk about the upcoming draft class, last year's draft class, and who can come up big this season, year one, year two, rookies versus sophomore. Ryan is back from taking away from his seat as a guest and putting it back to his host seat. In other words, year one versus year two guys, rookies, sophomores, Eagles, nonsense. Here we go. Let's talk some nonsense. We're going to start with segment one. We have here today Eagles number one fan, a.k.a. Ryan Talks NSS. This is your boy Francis. I'll be the host. Ryan is going to be today's guest as we preview the Eagles 2020 season. Will Sylvania, number one fan. You want to say hello to the people before I start with my intro?
What's up, guys? Fly, Eagles, fly. I'm looking forward to a great draft and a great 2020 season. Go, Eagles.
All right, perfect, man. You ready for this?
Yep.
All right. This is going to be a little savage, man. I'm sorry, all right? So, the Eagles were 9-7 last year. They made the playoffs to the wild card game after losing to the Cowboys at a game of chicken in which the winner was actually the loser who made the playoffs. In the wild card game, they lost Carson Wentz to a questionable hit by Jadeveon Clowney. Some say it was dirty. Some say it was clean. Some people don't want to talk about it. Really, by the end of it, the Eagles lost to the Seahawks in the wild card game. Well, that was last year. That was 2019. Well, that was the 2019 season because the game was actually in 2020. But that's conversation for another day, all right? So, but here we are talking about the 2020 NFL season, if allowed by the COVID-19, aka coronavirus, causing out here reducing pollution and letting the birds sing as loud as they can, according to an article that I read on Forbes.com. Now, really quick. Now, are the birds singing because the bird singing is a lot louder now because their batteries are recharged, or I don't know. Think about that. Let that sink in. Today we're talking.
There's not as much pollution, and they're killing their lungs and they're inside.
Yep. So
more air, more breath.
Yep. Less pollution. Batteries are recharged. But today we're talking to the Eagles number one fan, the boy Ryan, and he's the biggest Eagles fan that I know in my area. So after that intro, the one and only Ryan Talks NSS. Find him on Twitter. He's going to be our guest speaker for the day. Please take the floor, Mr. Ryan Talks NSS. Tell us how the Eagles are going to come up in the world this season.
All right. So obviously, everyone and their dog knows that the Eagles got Carson Wentz as a quarterback, and they're building all around him. He's got a great contract and everything. I mean, he's our future, and he's ours going forward. There's no more of this Nick Foles drama or anything like that. I wish Nick the best of luck in Chicago. Unfortunately, things didn't pan out in Jacksonville for him. Although I'd take Foles over Minshew any day, honestly. But back to the Eagles, so they don't get too sidetracked. So the biggest thing that hurt us last year is Carson Wentz became the first quarterback in NFL history to throw for over 4,000 yards and not have a single wide receiver with over 500 receiving yards. Is that insane, or is that insane?
That is insane. That's nonsense.
And so, obviously, wide receiver is the Eagles' top priority. I mean, we have Alshon Jeffrey, who we all know he's been a little disgruntled and a little injury-prone as of last year. Deshaun Jackson, he's aging. And then outside of that, who do we have? I mean, we lost Nelson Aguilar. He came up big for us back in 2017, but last year he struggled as well. Greg Ward came up big for us in a couple of games. He had that game winner against, I believe it was the Deadskins. And then –
Savage.
And so, outside, I mean, we had guys playing off the practice squad that I've never even heard of before, honestly, last year. And so, wide receivers are our top priority coming into this because, like I said, Carson Wentz is our franchise. He's our future. So we got to give Carson what he wants to keep him around, keep him happy. So what's that going to be? Wide receiver in the first round. So I'm all sold for CeeDee Lamb. This guy is going to be an absolute monster. He's going to be a stud in the NFL. You pair Wentz with Lamb, they're going to be better than Matt Ryan and Julio Jones could ever be. These guys are going to bring in a Super Bowl together. They'll bring in Wentz an MVP. Lamb's going to be the top wide receiver in the league. I mean, you have a guy. He's got great. He's not the fastest wide receiver, but he's got great route running, great yak, and great hands, everything. I mean, what's not to like about this guy? He's not afraid to get down and throw a block for his teammates in there as well. He's the whole package, in my opinion. So I'm all in for Lamb. Obviously, we're going to have to make a move to trade up for him. So hopefully we can trade up to number 9 from the Jags, or maybe even number 10 from the Browns. Obviously, that's going to have to include swapping first rounds this year. I'd like to hang on to our second this year, but it could be a little iffy. But I'd rather give him our third, swap first this year, give him our third and our second next year, bring in CeeDee Lamb, because right there, that's going to improve our offense already. And then come round 2, we're going to have pick 53. Obviously, another big need of ours is going to be linebacker, because we don't have a star linebacker on it. No, I mean, we let Nigel Bradham walk.
At least you're keeping it like way honest, the whole concept. You guys have no linebackers, no O-line. You're just keeping it honest.
We have no line. I mean, our O-line will be fine for this year. So in the second round, I really like to get another linebacker here, someone who can kind of come in and do us what we need. I mean, obviously, Patrick Queen and Isaiah Simmons are both going to be gone. There's no chance they're going to be around. Guy that I do like is that Jordan Brooks from Texas Tech. That guy, I think he could come in, make a good impact, and be our star linebacker that I've been looking for. I mean, we've kind of struggled with linebackers the past little while. I mean, we haven't had nothing great ever since, I don't know. D'Amico Ryans is probably our best linebacker since we've had like a really good linebacker. I mean, Bradham was good, but he had injuries. Jordan Hicks, he showed promise coming out, as a prospect, and then injuries after injuries. And then, we let him go and he goes to Arizona, plays a full year, and I can't remember if he ended up leading the league in tackles or not, but he had a heck of a year. So linebacker we've just always struggled with. So hopefully we can get a linebacker. And like I said, I really like that Jordan. Oh my gosh, Jordan Brooks out of Texas Tech there. I think he'd come in and do a pretty good job for us there. I mean, obviously, if there's not a good linebacker there, I mean, we can always go an offensive line, build that depth there, because obviously we are getting older on the O-line. We haven't re-signed Jason Peters. I mean, he's still a free agent, so he's still an option that we could bring back to help. And then obviously we let Big V go, and he signed with the Lions, so he's off the market. So we kind of need to fill those voids, but those aren't the essential needs right now. I believe our essential need right now is to get a wide receiver, someone who's going to have a great career to get pair alongside with Carson Wentz to help Wentz out in the passing game. Because, like I said, you don't have a receiver over 500 yards. That's pretty sad, man. I mean, that's my thoughts on what we need to do. So let's trade the third next year, second, swap first this year. Hopefully we can make that work and get up and trade for CeeDee Lamb. If we can't get Lamb, it'd be very unfortunate if we didn't. I'm really high on CeeDee Lamb. I want him. If not, we can let's go Jerry Jeudy. So Judy's another good, promising guy. I'd say he's the most complete receiver coming into this draft, but highest ceiling, I feel, CeeDee Lamb, if that makes any sense to you or not.
It makes sense. I mean, you're definitely like, as a fan, like, the sport, the Eagles better than like any other team, and you make some good points. You actually answered some of my questions of some of the needs for the Eagles when I was like doing my paperwork for the Eagles as well, so I can come over here and grill you for it. Obviously, you're not really giving me much of a chance to grill you on. That's the whole linebacker situation. From day one, we completely agreed that the Eagles, they need as many wide receivers as possible, and maybe not all of them from the practice squad, which leads me to like a bit of a question for you. What if should the Eagles take a chance on trading a couple draft picks for Odell Beckham? DeAndre Hopkins went for like a a copy machine and a 5th-round pick. Is that the value for DeAndre Hopkins?
And someone who's always injured.
Exactly. And what about for like Odell Beckham, who maybe in that injured part, he's had a couple games, maybe a bit more of a attention grabber, more of a drama queen. But at the same time, I mean, the Browns used to give him up for a 6th-round pick, 8th-round pick, 12th-round pick. They could give him up for like a pair of sneakers and some like likes on YouTube. Which, speaking of likes, make sure you guys like this video on Spotify and YouTube. But Odell Beckham Jr., could he go to Philly and play with the top quarterback as he did? Like before with Eli Manning, Carson Wentz is definitely better than Eli Manning. So and it's also an upgrade from Baker Mayfield. Is that a possibility for the Eagles?
I don't see it happening, although I would love to see OBJ come to Philly. I mean, he's a star wide receiver. He's one of the best in the league. When he's got a great quarterback thrown to him, he's definitely top 5 in the NFL. So right there, that's always a big boost to our wide receiving core already. I mean, if we could get him for cheap, I say, yeah, bring him in, but I don't see it happening, unfortunately. I know there's some Eagles fans who aren't for him coming in, and that's kind of because of his diva personality, whatnot. And them saying that he's a bad teammate in the locker room, which I disagree with. I mean, how many teammates have you heard come out and say that he's a bad teammate or he's a cancer in the locker room? I've never heard
I think he enjoys the media way too much.
Yeah, I agree.
Outside of football,
he likes to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
Come to Philly though, I think could be challenging and hard for him. Philly, as we know, has some diehard crazy fans, man.
Yeah.
So if he were to come here and fail, kind of like what he's done in Cleveland so far, not lived up to what he did in New York, he's going to get so much hate, and he's not going to last long at all. I mean, that's just how the city of Philadelphia does with their fans.
Now, real quick on OBJ failing with the Browns, or maybe he'll stay there, but was that more on his fault, on his whole watch and the shoes and things like that, or it could have been on Baker Mayfield maybe not having that success that he found as a rookie?
I'm going to blame it on 3 different things: OBJ himself, Baker Mayfield, as well as coaching.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like the coaching decision to hire Kitchens in the first place at all. That was stupid, and they should have never gone that route, in my opinion. Baker Mayfield, he struggled last year. I mean, he missed a lot of passes, and then – so, I mean, that's obviously on the quarterback when they miss passes. Then OBJ, I'm going to say him. I don't believe that he's happy in Cleveland. I mean, it's not a big market area, whereas in New York, I think he likes the big market areas, where he's going to get all that attention and whatnot. And, I mean, Cleveland, it's not a big – I mean, the city's big, yes, but as for –
it's Cleveland. All right.
Yeah, football-wise, no.
Real quick, so back to the Eagles. Leonard Fournette recently became a free agent, or not recently.
Let him stay. Let him stay. I don't want him.
You don't even want to humor the fact that the Jaguars may be giving out. You don't want to add him to Miles Sanders. No, that's it.
Nope.
Okay, so that leads us the closest segments to the Eagles. I do think that the Eagles will be better, of course, depending on Carson Wentz's health. I do believe that if they reach out to OBJ and they can come up with an agreement, maybe OBJ feels like he needs something to prove. He'll take a pay cut. He'll have a breakout season before he goes back into full diva mode again. I think that the Eagles are going to be better. So, yeah, I like it, man. Do you have a closing statement for your Eagles fans or you have out there? I mean, this right here, this is your segment. Like, this is you right now. What's your closing statement for the Eagles?
I'll tell you what, man. I'm so excited for this draft. Last year, the past couple of years, I knew we weren't going to do much or anything. I mean, we drafted Derek Barnett 2 years ago, and then Andre Dillard last year. I knew we weren't going to make a big splash or anything with any trades. I mean, last big trade we made was with Carson Wentz, and that was a great move. And I think this is the year that we need to make another big move, in my opinion. We need to bring in this franchise wide receiver that we can have. CeeDee Lamb's going to be a game changer. He's going to be huge. And so I think I'm all in to get him. I mean, I'm not going to sell the farm for him just for a wide receiver. I mean, because this draft class is deep. We could – even in the second round, we could maybe get T. Higgins or Denzel Mims, I mean, so I'm not going to sell the farm for him, but I am going to give up a few draft picks to bring this guy in because I believe that he can help us that much, but not enough to sell the farm, if that makes sense.
Okay, that absolutely makes sense. From Eagles' perspective, that is your full-on topic regarding the Eagles. Now, next season, 16 games, right? Not 17. Is it 16 or 17 games next season? 16,
I think
right?
it's 16 next year, but the playoffs change is in effect next
All
year.
right, so we're talking
17
over.
the year after.
I mean, this sounds pretty. I mean, this is not a biased question to you as an Eagles fan, but over. Or
yes, we won the NFC East.
10 wins. Beat
Over.
the Cowboys twice or once?
Twice. Screw them Bulls.
There you have it. On that note, we're.
Hey, I just want to say another thing. I mean, our defense has improved a lot. I mean, bringing Darius Slay
now, so it's like great.
Yeah, bringing Darius Slay was huge. I mean, what he's done against Amari Cooper past couple times they've faced off. Cooper has killed us every time we play the Cowboys every year. He always goes off, and so Slay has slowed Cooper down a lot both times that they've played against each other. So Slay's going to be a huge addition to us. We got that number one corner that we need. And then I think Sidney Jones is going to watch out for this guy. I think he's about to finally come into form what he was going to be when you drafted him in the second round a couple years ago before he tore his Achilles before the draft. So watch out for him. And then obviously Jalen Mills at safety. I think he's going to be better at safety than what he was at cornerback. So he doesn't have the speed there at corner, which is why he's burnt toast all the time. But he is pretty good when it comes to the tackling there. So, and then of course he did play safety in college, whatnot. So I mean he's going back to what he played back in college. So I think it's a good addition. Only other place we lack on defense, like I said, linebacker. And I said we can address that in the second round. Or if we go without, I think we could be fine if we were to, for some crazy reason, draft a wide receiver first round and get another wide receiver second round. I mean, maybe Clayton Claypool from Notre Dame, maybe he'll be there. I think that guy's got a lot of potential, and he could be a steal of the draft. I mean, we haven't seen anyone run this fast about 40 or be this size and build since Calvin Johnson. And we know how much of an X factor Calvin Johnson was. So.
All right, perfect, man. All right. So, Eagles should be excited. It's 11 wins.
Eagles will take the NFC East, and we'll be over 10 wins.
This is on video, right? Like, somebody can go back and quote you on this kind of concepts.
Yeah, you remember when you were giving me crap for saying the Bears were going to be?
All right, so moving on to segment number 2. Thank you guys for listening to us on Spotify. This is Nonsense Sports.
Thank you, guys.
I'm your host, Francis Talks and Assess. This is Ryan Talks and Assess. And we just want to let you guys know that we're going to move on to segment number 2 of our Nonsense Sports episode podcast and video show. Find us on Spotify, find us on Anchor, YouTube, and Facebook. Talk some nonsense. Are you ready for the segment number 2? Are we done talking about the
I'm ready for number 2. And before you forget, be sure to like, subscribe to our pages. Tell your friends, family, everyone you know about us.
Yeah, so this is fun so far. It's been pretty good so far.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, Thursday night, after the first round of the NFL draft is over, watch for our recap.
Yeah. We're going to be here. We might even go live on YouTube if I can figure out how to go live.
And hopefully I'm going to be happy cheering when the Eagles have drafted CeeDee Lamb.
And we'll talk about that when that maybe happens.
And I already said I have a buddy who's a big Eagles fan as well. I told him if we draft Lamb, I'm buying the jersey already. I don't need to see him playing on the field in an Eagles uni before I buy his uni. I know how good this man's going to be.
Okay. I'm going to quote you on that when he gets drafted by somebody else. All right, segment number 2.
I said I'd buy a jersey if he was drafted by us, not when he goes to some other team. But
that's not what you just said like 30 seconds ago.
No, that is what I said. If he's drafted by us, I'll buy a jersey of him that night.
I'm on a budget. I can't afford any jerseys.
You what?
I'm on a budget. I cannot afford any jerseys.
Credit card, bro.
that what is it? No interest for 16 months.